Hi everyone, how are you? It's so wonderful to see you. My name is Miss Gerbacki and I have some friends here with me. I've got Grace. Grace is in 5th grade and Tyler.
Hi.
Tyler's in 3rd grade and Emma. Emma's in 3rd grade also. So what we're going to do today is we're going to make a really fun art project. And we're going to make a miniature art gallery. We thought if you are not able to go out to an art gallery or to an art show, then you can make an art gallery at home. So what you'll need for today's project is some construction paper and also some white drawing paper. And if you have a small cardboard box, that would be really good. Or you can also just use some little pieces of cardboard. And then you'll also need glue and scissors, or you can use tape. You can also paint today if you'd like. Or you can draw with a variety of art supplies, crayons, markers, colored pencils, pastels. And you'll also need a pencil to draw with, and maybe an eraser would be a good idea. And also a ruler, if you happen to have one, that might be helpful. So the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to start by creating our actual gallery. So what you can do is you can take a small cardboard box and you can cut the front of it out and cut these flaps off, and then you can use them to make extra things in your gallery if you'd like. Or if you just have pieces of cardboard, you can start with a cardboard base and create some walls standing up in your gallery. So what I'd like to do right now is show you how you can make these walls stand up in case you don't have a little box that you can start with. So I'm going to switch to my camera on the table. And the way that I did this was I started with a cardboard base, and then I cut out some cardboard walls. And to make them stand up, you can use these little tabs, either made of paper or of cardboard, to make it stand up. So what you can do is take some scraps of paper and you can cut small rectangles and fold them in half. And then use your glue to glue them to the cardboard. To make tabs to stand up. So I put glue on each side, and I'll glue this on one side of the cardboard so that the crease is right at the edge. So I'll glue that down on my wall. And then I'll put glue on the other side. And I will stick this then to the floor. And I'll want to do that on both sides of my wall. And then to make it sturdier, I could use a small piece of cardboard also. So first I'll do these two paper ones. Okay, so I've got tabs on either side of my cardboard, but my wall is still a little flimsy. So I'm going to get a piece of cardboard, and I can cut a piece, a rectangle off. And I will fold this in half and put glue on each side. And then I can stick this tab on the back to help support my wall. There, now it's standing up better. But now I have these tabs on the floor. So then what I can do is I can take some colored construction paper and I can cut out a big rectangle, a nice floor, and lay it down on top. And I can also cover my walls with construction paper. And the way I can do that is I can measure the walls and then measure my construction paper to make it the same size, or I can also just take my construction paper and I can hold it up to my wall, and then I can take my pencil and just trace along the outside edge to get the right size for it. After I've traced that, I can cut it out, and I have a nice colored covering for my wall. And then I can either tape or glue that on. Or I can also paint my walls. Okay, so after we finish making the outside of our building, and you can be really creative. You can leave this wall here and you can cut out just a door. You could do whatever you like with yours. Yours could have a ceiling to it. So be creative, whatever you'd like to make. But the next thing that we're gonna do is we are going to make the art then for the inside of our gallery. So one way to do that would be to look on the internet. You can go to the internet and type in famous paintings or famous sculptures, and you can find different artworks. Or if you learned about famous artists in school and you're familiar with some of the paintings, you can use those too. Tyler, did you want to say something?
Yes. If some CCA, you are the art teacher, so people at CCA can learn about famous artists like Clay Oldenburg.
Very good. So they're already in your art lessons. So you can draw famous artworks that you learned about in your art lessons. Very nice, Tyler. Did everybody want to show their galleries and what kind of buildings you made? Go ahead, Tyler. Did you want to share yours?
Yes. Okay. Hang on. There. But I made a beach gallery. So I have the bungalow by Winslow Homer, a bungalow by Winslow Homer, Palm Tree at Nassau. I also have that. Hang on. Hang on. Oh. But I also have the painting with the sunset and Tor Beach, which you learn about in 3rd grade in your 2nd unit. And then I also have one of my artworks right there.
Awesome. I love
this sculpture myself with markers. This is a Model Magic. These are all Model Magic sculptures. And my mom has worked with Model Magic before.
That's awesome. I like how you're including your own artwork too.
And then I made this coral. Because why not, right? Why not go in the ocean, right? Grab some coral.
Wonderful. Wonderful, Tyler. I love how you have a theme.
And then I also made an ice cream cone. It's the Fallen One by Claes Oldenburg. And you learn about him in the pop art unit in 3rd grade. But I colored the ice cream red instead of leaving it white. Why not get creative, right?
That's awesome, Tyler. Thank you for sharing. I love that. Did anybody else want to share their buildings, what they have so far? Go ahead, Grace.
So for mine, I decided to go with big walls, and I did the wallpaper in strips, so it kind of has the texture. For the wooden floor, I used around 70 popsicles, and I put them all kind of on the floor, and I stained them a bit, if you can see. And for the artwork, which I'll be putting in, I have The Scream by Edward Munch and made in 1893. I have Starry Night, made by Vincent van Gogh, made in 1889. I have The Great Wave, made by Katsushika, I don't know how you pronounce it, but Hokusai, and it was made in 1829 through 1833.
Awesome, Grace. And I know that you had a different reference besides the internet to find your artworks. Can you tell us about that?
So for Christmas, I got art cards basically, and I'll share the ones. So I have The Great Wave, and if you get these, it's from Usborne if anyone's interested. And so basically, if you look on the back, it has all of the information of who made it, when it was done, what type of picture it is, what they used to make. So here's the Scream. Another one I have close by, which I didn't do, but I might, is the Mona Lisa. What I like about these cards is they just share a bunch of information. Need to use the internet. This has basically all the information you need.
Awesome. Wonderful, Grace. Thanks for sharing. I love your popsicle stick floor. That's such a clever idea. It looks like you put in a hardwood floor. So wonderful. Wonderful idea so far. Go ahead, Emma.
So what I have right here is let me turn the computer. There. Let me turn on the lights. So what I have in here for paintings is Johanna's The Girl with a Pearl Earring. And then I could not find the name of this one, so I just wrote down the artist's name, Jackson Pollock. And then, and then I have The Scream by Edward Munch. And then I couldn't find the name for this one very easily. It was by Georgia O'Keeffe. And then I have Starry Night by Vincent van Gogh. Then I have Rene Magritte, The Son of Man. And lastly, I have the Mona Lisa by Leonardo da Vinci. Sorry. And I just made my own sculpture for the last one. I kept it blank because I thought it looked like marble.
That's so amazing, Emma. I love it. I love your gallery. That's an amazing sculpture. It definitely looks like marble. And I absolutely love the chandeliers and the lights inside. That is so clever. Do you want to tell us anything about that? How did you make your chandeliers?
Well, we took a toilet paper roll that we had and we cut it into shapes, and my mom found this ribbon from my nanny and it had these hanging off of it, and we thought it would be perfect for a chandelier. So we cut this smaller and we glued this onto it and found some lights, and we hung up lights all together and then added them in the middle. And when we hung up the chandelier, we used wiring and glued it on.
That's amazing. It looks so beautiful. Thanks for sharing, Emma.
Thank you.
Okay, very good. Okay, so the next thing that I want to do is we can work on making some of that artwork. So now that we have some walls put up, you can either do it with pieces of cardboard and make little tabs and glue them down to make the walls stand up, or you can take a small box and cut a side out. Then the next thing we're going to do is make some art. So I'm going to switch to my camera on the table, and we can make a little piece of art to put in our gallery. Okay, so you'll probably want to start with a piece of white drawing paper. Now, you can either just cut out a little rectangle if you're making a painting, or you can use your ruler and you can measure it if you'd like to make it a little bit straighter. So I could use my ruler and I could make my painting a couple inches, depending on what I think will fit in my gallery. Because now that I made my gallery and I made the walls, I'll know how big the paintings need to be to fit them on the walls. So I can use my ruler and I can make little marks measuring. I think I'll make this one about 2 inches. Okay, so I've measured out a rectangle and then I'm going to cut it out. And then I've either looked up artworks online that I'd like to copy by famous artists. And that way I can learn about the artists also, or I can make my own original piece of art, whatever you'd like to do. And you can use any materials that you like. You could use markers, you could use crayons, you could use pastels, you can paint. And I'm looking at a piece here by the artist Piet Mondrian. So I'm doing a very simple piece that kind of looks like his artwork. He used black lines and made these grid patterns and used the primary colors, red, blue, and yellow. Okay, so now that I have my artwork, I'll also want to make a frame for it. So you can make a frame in any way that you like. I'm going to use another piece of paper, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it slightly larger than my artwork. So I can use my ruler, or I can just draw without my ruler. And I'm going to make this frame. I'm just going to make a piece of, take a piece of construction paper, and I'm going to mount my painting on this construction paper so that the edges show just a little bit around it, and it makes it look like a picture frame. Okay, so I've made a rectangle that's slightly larger than my artwork. And then I can glue my artwork onto my backing. Or if you don't have glue, you can also use tape. Okay, so I have an artwork and what looks like a frame around it. So then what I can do is I can glue it onto the wall of my art gallery. Tyler, did you want to share something?
Yes. I am working on my own artwork. I'm calling it Squares for Days, because it will take a while to count the squares, and they're all going to be black and white.
Awesome. I love that, Tyler. Yes, so you can actually make a gallery full of just your own art too, if you'd like. Okay, so I wanted to show you one other thing. You could make sculptures to go in your gallery, and we've seen several of you have made sculptures out of clay. You might have some Model Magic or some air dried clay. So you can use that. If you don't have it, you can easily make some sculptures out of cardboard. These are some that I made from polymer clay, and I baked them in the oven. These are my guests that came to my gallery. And this is a little sculpture that I made from cardboard. So I just wanted to show you how you can easily make something from cardboard. So for the pedestal part, I just took a piece of cardboard and I bent it to make a triangle basically. And I taped it together. I made a top to it and then just cut out my little figure. And I did the same thing that I did with my walls over here. Is I just made a tab for my figure to stand on. So I took the bottom of it and I bent it and glued it down so that my figure would stand upright. So let me go ahead and switch to my camera on the table, and I can show you how to make a pedestal with a sculpture on it. Okay, so I can take a little scrap of cardboard, and what I did was I just cut out a rectangle. And then I folded this rectangle into thirds in 3 places, 3 equal sized rectangles basically, or sort of equal. So I folded it in 2 spots. And when I put them together, then I have a triangle. You can also make it a rectangle if you want. It doesn't have to be a triangle. It's just this was pretty easy to do. You can fold it in 1 more spot and then make it rectangular. And then I just took some tape and I taped this shut. And then I need a top to it so that my sculpture can stand on it. So what I did was I just tipped it over onto my cardboard and I traced the top of it. And then I cut out that triangle. Check to make sure it fit. If it's a little bit too big, you can trim it. Okay, so I've got a top for my pedestal. And then what I did was I took some glue and I just put some glue around the edge. And I pressed this, whoops. I pressed it to the top to hold it in place. Okay, so now I've got a pedestal. And then to make my sculpture, I started with a sheet of white drawing paper. And I drew my sculpture on it. I think I'm going to just make up something, do something abstract. Okay, so I've got a picture of my sculpture, and then what I did was I cut it out. And then I put it on top of a piece of cardboard. So then I traced it onto cardboard. And I left a tab on the bottom. So I'm going to leave enough space in the bottom that I can fold back a tab so that it will stand up and be 3D. Cutting out my cardboard. Okay. Looks like my sculpture will fit on here. And then I can fold this tab back to make it stand. Glue this on. Add some glue here. And just press this onto my base. And whenever you glue anything, you have to hold it and count to 10 to make it stick. So if I hold this and I count to 10, it will stick a lot better than if I just press it real quick. Okay, so now I've got a sculpture that's on a base and I can add this to my gallery. So let me pick up my gallery here very carefully. And then I can add another sculpture into it. There, so I have a 3D sculpture. Okay, Tyler, did you want to say something?
Yes. You can also add some people you can add to your gallery if you ever have Legos like this, you can add some fake people like this. Or if you have a specific Lego set, or if you have duplicate, you can take a character from it like this and put it in your gallery.
Awesome. Yes, thank you, Tyler. So you can invite your toys or whoever you have to come to your gallery. So these are some little sculptures that I made. Does anybody else want to share the people that are in their gallery? I know, Grace, you made yours. Did you want to share who's in your gallery?
So to make mine, I have these wooden beads I got a while back, and my mom bought me some pipe cleaners a while ago. So I took a wooden bead and I bent the pipe cleaner, so I first attached it to the end and then bent it, and I double layered the arms, and then I went over to add some more support, and I made the legs. And my how I'm making them stand up is kind of a little bit of a DIY, because I took a popsicle, not a popsicle stick, I took a toothpick, and I put it like in the hole of the head. So, because in my floor there are little like creaks where the popsicle sticks are, so I can stick the toothpick in the little holes so they can stand, and the toothpick gives the extra support in the back so it doesn't like fall over.
That's so awesome. Thank you, Grace. That's such a great idea. I love everybody's creativity. Okay, last thing that we can do for our art gallery is maybe make some invitations to invite people to come to the show. So what I did was I took a piece of cardstock, or you can take a sheet of paper, whatever you like, and I'm going to make a postcard. You can also make a card that you fold and put in an envelope, but I'm going to make a postcard that I can put in the mail and invite people to my art show. I saw, Tyler, you have one there too. Very good. Go ahead.
I'm going to trace some of my people and put them on there, and then put then draw a picture of one of my sculptures and the painting, and then I'm going to say, and then at the bottom it's going to say, "You're invited."
Awesome. I love that. Okay, I'm going to switch to my camera on the table and we can go ahead and make our invitations. So on one side of my postcard, I'm writing my message. I've got my stamp. I have a logo. I have it addressed. And on the other side, I can make a picture showing maybe some of the art that you will see at the gallery. Go ahead, Tyler. Did you want to share?
Yes, you can get creative and use words too. Like I did, I used bubble letters. And they say, "You are invited."
Awesome. I love that. Thanks for sharing, Tyler. Okay, very good. So those are the steps to make your own art gallery at home. Start with your building, make your artwork. You can make paintings, sculptures, be as creative as you like, and then go ahead and invite some people to attend your gallery. Would anybody like to share anything else before we go? Go ahead, Tyler.
Yes. I would like to share.
Tyler, you're muted.
I would like to show you the squares for days that I did. You know, and I would like and do you see any holes in my coral? I can see you. So I know there are holes, and usually, you know what happens when there are holes in coral? Fish can swim through.
That's awesome, Tyler. I love that. And I like your squares for days. I love that title. That's awesome. I love how you have a beach theme to your gallery and all the artwork. Thanks for sharing, Tyler. Emma, did you want to share anything else?
I would like to share what I added to it. I'm putting the paintings on a little bit more tightly, so I'm taking 2 of them out because they're crooked. So 2 of them are going to be missing. Let me turn it. So I added an outer piece so it didn't look jagged at the edges. That's what I was doing this whole time.
That's wonderful. I love the detail. And what do you have on the floor? I love your wallpaper too. That's awesome.
I actually have fabric from my nanny's old box of them, and Mom said we could choose out of them, so I chose this because I liked how it looked like carpet and tile, and I chose this because it looked more like wallpaper, I felt like, and we just used white for the roof, so it beamed off the light more.
That's awesome. I love it. And then, you're welcome. How did you make your bench?
Oh, well, we used a cream cheese box and cut it out, and we took paper and we put the yellow on top to make it have a nice color on top, and then brown at the bottom to make it look more like a bench.
That's awesome. I love it. And how did you make the pedestals for the sculptures?
Toilet paper rolls.
I thought so.
We wrapped them with ribbon. Like this one, we put ribbon and then a band around it to hold down the cloth.
Awesome. Nice job, Emma. I love it. Thank you for sharing. You're welcome. Grace, did you want to share what you have done on yours so far?
So what I did is I hung up some of the paintings and I made these little notes that say, can't really see them, but I made little notes that say the title, who it's by, and when it was made. And for the outside, I have this brick, which I really like. My mom found some poster, like not poster board, but cardstock with different designs on it. And she said it would be good for the floor, but I thought it'd be good for the outside because it reminded me of brick. And then on the top, I just have white. But since it didn't fit all the way across, we improvised and used some more of the brick. And I decided that it'd be fine if we like tilted it.
That's great, Grace. And what do you have on the inside? How are your paintings coming?
So on the ones on the inside, I hung up the Starry Night and the Scream. And this one I made, it's a bunch of geometric shapes, and I made it by myself, so it's one of my artwork. And I used the technique where you put a bunch of like tape on it, and I found really super thin washi tape. So I put it on and then painted, and then I peeled it off once it was dry. And then it made this cool pattern, and I really thought it was cool. And for my frames, I took some I have these square pieces of paper, and I measured the painting on it, and then I drew around it where it was, and then I cut around it and left the mark there so I knew where it was centered, and I measured it so it's each like around a half an inch around. And then I painted it yellow, and then once it was dry, I stuck it on with it like adhesive, and then I can just hang them in my gallery.
That's awesome. I love that piece that you made yourself, and I like your tips about the tape. It looks really wonderful. Thank you, Grace. Thank you for sharing. Okay, go ahead, Tyler. Did you want to say something else?
Well, my gallery was founded in, I'm just making up a date, but it was founded in 1999, and it's called the Beach Gallery. So if you feel like, oh man, nah, I hate winter.
Oh, you're muted.
And then I would also like to be an artist when I'm older, and I really hope I see some of these kids because I want to be an art teacher too.
Wonderful. Thank you, Tyler. Okay, amazing job, Grace, Tyler, and Emma. Thank you so much for helping to make our miniature art galleries at home and showing kids at home how they can make theirs too. So I hope everybody has fun making their gallery, and I hope everybody has a wonderful day, and we see you all again soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.